My name's Emily. I live in BC in Canada, and my innovation is called Écologique. I've been working on this idea since spring, pretty much. And what it is basically nature-based education programs, and they're incorporating my passions in my education. I have a Bachelor of Science in Life Sciences, and I have a huge passion for nature. I think that it's super useful to get connected with nature, not only for just environmental awareness, but also for mental health reasons. As mentioned in the description, I wrote a poem about the coronavirus lockdown, and writing and just being outside really helped me during those times. So I'm currently developing workshops in field trip kind of style for youth and adults, youth around ages 10 to 15, and any adults who are interested. And these programs will be based on whole system ecology. One of my particular interests is rebirth from decomposition. So that includes a lot of fungus, microbes, insects. Those are my interests. And also we'll be touching on survival skills. So I have noticed even within a lot of my friend groups, people don't really know what to bring on hikes. I live in the Okanagan region of Canada. So that means that there's lots of hills and cliffs, and a lot of people won't even bring water. So yeah, I just want to help raise a bit of awareness on that, on what we can pack and how we can be better prepared in order to tackle outdoors fears that I know a lot of us tend to have. Also around like snakes and stuff like that. I'm a huge reptile person, so addressing that as well. And yeah, an overall theme is combining art and science. I know growing up, I was typically, I thought they were two separate entities. And now that I'm a little bit older, I understand they are not, and they actually work very well hand in hand. So as I mentioned, yeah, I like to write a lot outside. I like to identify plants as well. So that'll also be a topic I'll be touching on. So my programs will be launched coming up soon, and my first ever one will happen in November. So we're going to be having 4 different stations where we're going to touch on eco-awareness. So that would be like the decomposition I was talking about, and creating a natural compost recipe. We're also going to be tying knots for survival awareness. We're going to be writing poetry in nature, and we're also going to be identifying plants. And we're going to collect all this information into some awesome booklets so that participants can go back out in nature and learn even more. So yeah, I know in my description it said I would be reading one of my poems. So I did actually record that onto YouTube. So I can share my screen and share that with you guys. But before that, I wanted to show you a video as well on my TikTok that I uploaded. So I'm going to be using TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram as my main channels. So this video that I want to show you is just one of the exercises I like to do. It's a little mindfulness practice. So that's just being aware of what your surroundings are. And it just helps you to clear your mind to feel a little bit more grounded. So I'm going to share my screen here. Hopefully the sound works. Okay.
We see the screen.
Perfect. Okay, here testing.
Today I wanted to show you one of my favorite things that I like to do, especially in the morning. So all you have to do is find an awesome location, like I'm in a bird sanctuary in Kelowna, BC right now, and you just have to sit and be aware of all the things around you. Use all of your senses. So that includes sight. So what do you see? I'll show you. This is my view, which is lovely. What do you hear? I can hear a lot of birds, ducks, pretty calm, but also there's some guys doing construction really close to me, which is pretty loud. What do you smell? I can mostly smell crispy, decomposing leaves. It is fall right now. What do you feel? Sand and rocks. There's often a lot of glass in this area, so I definitely looked before I sat. Hey, taste anything really.
All right, that's my video. So yeah, I'll be uploading stuff like that onto my TikTok. And also just some basic like identification. I have another video where I'm talking about a couple of my favorite plants and that kind of thing. So that's kind of what we'll be doing in my programs. And oops, okay. And I just closed that by accident. So I also, shall I just dive into the poem, or did anyone have any comments or questions?
It's your show.
I love your videos.
Awesome, thank you. And yeah, I'm quite a silly person, so that'll be kind of the theme. All right. So here is my poem that I wrote a while ago on YouTube.
Like the birds, I rise with the sun. My thoughts dance around the past and the future as I watch the daybreak. I'm too aware to fall back to sleep, but I'm too lazy to leave the warmth of my bed. If I pry myself up, I will not regret it. From my patio, I now sit in blankets and robes, just warm enough to enjoy my surroundings. I sit and I listen to the mini dinosaurs singing their songs. I've had a stuffed up nose lately, and I haven't been able to figure out why. But this makes me think. Regardless of human issues, nature moves forwards. Flowers will still bloom, trees will still drop fluffs, my nose will still run, and my eyes will still get itchy. No matter what's going on in the lives of humans, no matter what may ruin us tomorrow, the birds will still know they need to mate, the sun will continue to rise at 5:45 a.m. on an April morning. No matter how many coronaviruses crash stock markets, the sun will still rise. No matter how many humans go insane, the birds will still search for a means of spreading their genetics. If we don't learn from what's happening around us and stop ourselves from our toxic ways, we will no longer rise with the sun. We will find our demise in our pursuit for happiness. The American dream is no more. No more. No more pubs, no more poetry slams, no more motivational speakers, no more. No more. No more fear-mongering, no more shaming, no more band-aids, no more hate, no more wars, no more separatism, and no more othering. Humans can rise like phoenixes from the fire. Humans can see science for what it truly is, a hypothesis. Hypothesis means it can be suggested to be right or wrong, but the answer is open-ended. There's no definite in science. But we rely on it as if it's the be-all and end-all. Science is a helpful tool, but it's not the only one we possess. We have powerful brains that are capable of more than one subject. We understand communication, literacy, numerology, politics, biological processes, chemical reactions, and art to mirror our surroundings and our minds. One thing all these skills have in common is that they are not as concrete as the nature we see by peering out from our tiny lives. We have dinosaurs outside our front doors, supermoons suspended in a sheet blanketing our skies. The only concrete thing we have right now is the nature that surrounds us. It has always been there for us throughout our logical inventions and destructions. It has supported us and let us down. And it expects nothing in return except for respect. But we have taken it for all it's worth and gotten greedy to use it past its limits. Our bodies are pretty basic. We cannot see small microbes alone. We cannot see our inner organs with just our eyes. And we cannot put a bunch of wood on a lake and hope to have a sturdy bridge. We use our brains to plan for these tasks to be performed. We have a very strong tool that allows us to advance and to live in harmony with the world around us. But bliss is not so easy to achieve. We get so far into our own heads that we may forget our harmonious purposes. We quit focusing on what we are able to see, and we get greedy for all the world's riches. We let our main tool become our worst foe when it should be our best friend. If we take 5 steps back to learn from our surroundings again, we may find ourselves just a little bit closer to a life of peace. If we see this virus as a wake-up call, we might put less weight on our imagined systems. We might start noticing what beautiful life and land and waters surround us. We might see that focusing our lives on gaining an imagined dollar sign in a bank account isn't the best way to live. we may find ourselves truly happy once more. Empires have grown to collapse. Just open a history book to see. Did we actually think the Western dream was immune to this tragedy? The sun and the birds will still rise every morning. Would we like to continue joining them or not? All right, so I know that was a little bit depressing, a little bit dark.
All right. Yeah, so it was a little bit depressing. I was in the peak of Corona, so it was a little bit of a dark time for myself. But as I mentioned in the poem, my concrete thing to bring me up was definitely nature. So that is what I aim to do with my programs. So thank you for watching.
Very self-aware.
Thank you.
Emily, just to let you know, you mentioned something about you being silly. Okay. Do you know where what the word silly originally meant?
No.
It meant holy. A silly person was a holy person. When I mean holy, they were sacred, they were kind, they were generous, they were filled with God. And that's what the word silly originally came from. So it's not a negative, it's a positive thing. So
awesome. Thank you.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. And if anybody watching wanted to also see how to connect with me, here's my link at mkalajique on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Forgot to write that. Or mkalajique.com. And yeah, a lot of my programs will be released soon. They will be held mainly in person in my region, but also will be sharing a lot of resources online.
Great, great, excellent. Thank you very much, Emily. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching.